funky.
Good afternoon everyone, it's Garrett, and today I'm bringing you guys a new tutorial showing you guys how to make your own Infinite Warfare thumbnails. In today's tutorial we're going to be going over how to use a sniper or an assault rifle, whatever gun you guys want to use, and making it into a very, clickbaity, eye-catching thumbnail. And for today's tutorial, you guys are going to need two things that are going to be in the description. You guys are going to need this 3,000 subscriber pack. It's going to be including one of my layer styles. I'm going to be using the inner glow style, and also this pack called ArtemisV2 by Darian. And it's in the description below. You guys can go click on it and download it. It's a very good pack. Has very good stocks, and we're going to be using some of them in here. And you guys don't have to download those exactly, but it's some stocks I'm going to be using that would be helpful if you guys have the same things that I'm working with. So other than this, you guys are really going to need nothing but a creative mind and a very good workspace. And to start this thing first off, you guys are actually going to need a this Infinite Warfare all weapons in slow-mo video, and this is where I found actually how to get my my whole entire thing. So basically I just watched this video, not the whole entire thing, but just clicked around and found a good screenshot. Just basically paused the video and then took a screenshot and just pen tooled the rest of this out for my wallpaper. And if you guys want to know, I'm actually going to be doing an Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare remastered thumbnail and render pack like this, so stay tuned for that on my channel. But however, this is where I found all my stuff. Go check them out. Has really good videos, very good high quality things. And secondly, if you guys do want to go purchase this, the sell-by link will be in my description below. You guys can basically purchase this for $2 or more, and you guys can enter the code in YouTube to get 20% off your purchase. So if you guys spend $10 on this, and you guys can save $2 or however much you want to spend. But basically it's a whole PSD. You guys don't have to do any of the work, just change the text, go on. But break this down into the video itself. The first thing you want to do is actually go straight into the file in new and open up a new document, 1280 by 720. This is the document size that I use. I actually make the background black. It's just a lot easier to work with. And for the gun render, I'm not going to be pen tooling it out myself. However, I'm just going to drag it into the video. And the reason behind this is just because it's very time consuming to do, and I think you guys understand how to pen tool things nowadays. So I'm basically just going to paste this in and make sure that your mode is on RGB. Sometimes it goes straight to grayscale for some reason, so just watch out for that. So now that you guys have this, all you're basically going to have to do is just put your render down in the bottom right hand side. You guys can obviously find some renders on Google, but however, pen tooling your own is the best, and you don't have to worry about making sure everything has clean cut sides. You guys can make it a little choppy and stuff like that. It doesn't really matter too much. So for the background, we're going to start off just very basic, and we're actually going to head over to Google itself, and we're just going to type in Infinite Warfare. You guys can type in gameplay. I'm going to type in wallpaper, and you guys can go to images, and we're gonna have to find 2 to 3 wallpapers that you want to use. Just make sure the size 2 megapixels or above, and you guys can use anything. I'm actually going to use this one. The reason behind this is because we're going to need something to basically you guys are going to need basically something to put behind your screen and stuff like that, behind your guy. So you guys can use anything you want. You guys can use this wallpaper, you guys can use a bunch of stuff. All you have to do is paste it in behind your logo, or behind your gun, excuse me. Just size it down, don't make it too big, don't make it too small, and you guys can just basically put it right here. And you don't have to make a bunch of them. You guys can just keep one, and it does the same exact justice. So literally all you have to do now is actually make right here an adjustment layer and go to black and white, and basically you're going to black out the whole entire background. It's going to tone it out a little bit, and then you guys can click right here again and then go to exposure, and then you're going to take your gamma correction and bring it to the right a little bit, offset down, and then exposure down a little bit. So now that you guys have that, we're actually going to pretty much grab the wallpaper itself and just tone it down to around 85%. Don't make it too big. And now you're going to want to start working around everything else. And my personal preference, I actually like to throw in the color on my gun right away, just because it's going to help me understand what colors I want to use. So if you guys click right here on your effects, you guys can go to your outer glow, and I'm going to be using a blue color for this whole entire tutorial, because blue is basically my main color I like using on my channel. I found it's a very good eye-catching color. Make sure the blend mode is actually on screen, and then you guys can bring the size up however much you want, and the spread only bring up past 5. Don't go past 10, but go a little bit past 5, so around 5 to 10, maybe 6, 7, 8, one of those three, the best that I think in my eyes. So basically you have this down, and the next thing I want to do is actually head over to my 3000 subscriber pack like I've been saying. You guys want to go to this inner glow style and just save it. So go to blending options, and then you guys can click on new style. That's how you're going to save your styles, and then go back to right here. And for font choice, it doesn't really matter. However, I'm going to be using the font Kenyan Coffee, which is actually a really good font. A very weird name, but very good font. I'm going to make the word COD. So after that, I'm just going to make it very large, and just make it so the scaling actually touches each side. And believe it or not, doing this, people won't understand what it says. However, it does create a really cool effect. So if you go to window and then open up your styles and just add the style to it, you guys will get this kind of cool style behind the background. And it doesn't look like much, but when we start adding stocks and stuff like that, you guys can rotate it too, of course, however you want to do it. But once you start adding colors and stocks like that in the background, things are going to start working together very well. So for this is when you're going to start wanting to actually open up these packs that you guys have. A lot of designers use graphics packs and packs like that, including stocks and stuff like that. Google of course has a lot, but for this pack I want to use a certain stock that is actually under the stocks tab. That's called, this is ArtemisV2, and it's this kind of weird particle effect stock. It's one of my favorite, and basically I'm going to paste it in, and I'm going to put it above everything. And now I'm going to take it, I'm going to go through the blend modes. I'm going to mess with soft light. I think screen is usually what I like to use. You guys can work on lighten, but of course you guys can go through these yourself, find the best one that works for you. Linear dodge add is also a really amazing one, and I'm just going to put it on the bottom right here. So it basically creates this really nice glowing effect on the bottom of the logo and the bottom of the hand. So now that we can do this, we're actually going to add some more color. So of course, make a new layer behind everything, and then grab it right here under color swatch. Just make it a nice bright blue, and then take your brush size. I like to use the size around 350 and a hardness of 0, and just kind of click around right here, and you can lower the opacity a little bit. Basically doing that is just going to help create more of an effect on the guy and more effect on the hand. And then we can zoom out. We can add other things around here. I'm actually going to add a light source that I'm going to use one of my brushes with. So I'm going to just basically grab a white color, grab my brush again, and get a size around 500 this time. And I'm going to basically just kind of click in the air, just like this, and then lower the opacity a little bit. Again, I'm going to make another new layer, grab the black color, and this is going to be kind of like my my gradients and stuff like that, my kind of dark colors. They'll help things kind of get brought out more. I'm going to put it on overlay and then take the opacity down just a little bit, maybe around 43%. It's going to work out pretty well. And now that we have this, we can actually start adding more stuff. So this is when I like to actually go through my packs itself, look at all the stocks a lot of them have to offer. Like stocks like this can actually do a very good justice inside of the pack. It's very fun to use stocks simply like this, and just paste them in. And you don't have to use the full version of them. You guys can put them on the side and stuff like that. So just like I said, it's a very experimental process. But once we got something like this going up, we can actually add our text. So right here, just grab the text tool, and first things first, actually render this COD text that you did in the background. That's kind of be number one. But you can grab your text tool, bring the size down, of course, so you don't want to just write some huge letters, and then you can start writing your name or your text or whatever the team tag is called. So you guys can just put your text or whoever you want to put it. And I like sizing mine so it's a little bit behind the gun, and it has that kind of 3D pop out effect that the gun's in front of it. And then you're gonna hit Control J on the text, maybe shrink it up a little bit and then bring it down. And then you guys can add your other secondary text if you guys even have any. So you can write more text or whatever you guys want. And you don't have to use this font. There's a bunch of other fonts you like to use. So if I go to my font choice, I'm gonna use like Evagria, excuse me. Take the size down, of course, and I can do the same thing for this one. And it's font choice is actually a very good thing because you want to make sure that everything's very eye-catching and that it gets your attention. And you don't want to use very small thin fonts on a thumbnail because it won't catch people's eyes what you're trying to say and put across. So like I said, guys, font choice, very, very important. So now you guys have your text and you guys have it, where you want to put it. all you really want to do now is actually hit Control E on it and go right here to edit, transform. You guys can go to skew and just bring it up a little bit and then bring it down, because it's going to create kind of a cool kind of up feel. It's not going to be just straight horizontal, it's actually going to have a little curve to it. And then we can go right here to the right click, blending options, and we're actually going to add a drop shadow on it that's going to have, you know, an opacity of 100%, put it on normal, and then mess with the size and also the spread, just because you want to make sure that it's very, you know, dark behind the logo, or the text, excuse me, so you guys can actually, you know, see it from a far distance away. And now that we have this, we can actually start adding some more things. So the more things that I like adding, you know, making a new layer above everything, and then grabbing that blue color again, is, you know, just adding little kind of personality things and little kind of sticks around and dots, you know, dots around places. And, you know, don't go too crazy. And then you can mess with your kind of modes you want to put on. You can put on screen, linear, dodge, add. Screen usually works the best when you're overlaying colors on top of each other. And now that we have this, you guys can of course add more color. And a way I like doing that is zooming out all the way, making a new layer once again, you know, grabbing a very large brush, probably in the 1000s, and just clicking out here, and, you know, going back in, and now it's a lot more blue. You can grab, you know, your eraser and erase behind the text or something like that to kind of create that more gradient feel. And you know, the next thing is basically finalizing everything and making it into one whole. And a way to do that is actually going right here to these adjustment layers that I like using, and it's going straight back to the exposure. And exposure is a really good tool to kind of bring out those dark and lights. So I'm going to make this exposure not even to 1, a 0.84 for the gamma correction, excuse me, and the exposure up a little bit to kind of plus 56. It's going to really bring out a lot of things. And you know, you guys can mess with a lot of things. Curves is really good to use. You know, bringing up this curve a little bit and then bringing it back down can help, you know, bring out that really high saturation between everything. And then of course you can take, you know, take away the exposure, see how that looks, or even take the opacity down just a little bit. So now that we have this, you guys can actually start doing your own thing, like I've said before. But let's just say we're done with the whole entire thing itself and we want to, you know, finalize it, make it kind of glitchy and stuff like that. You want to group every single layer in here, clicking the first one, holding shift and clicking the last one, hit Control G, then hit Control J, hit Control E, and then hit Control J again. So I hope you guys have got that. And now that you guys have this, you know, you guys can start doing your little blurs and stuff. So I like using a Gaussian blur because it's a lot easier to process rather than going through lens blurs. And it's basically erasing a lot of the blur that it uses, but only keeping like the corners and stuff like that in. Merging the layers once again. And then you guys can, you know, use pixelate, use mosaic, and basically make it pixelated around, you know, some edges, some corners and stuff like that. And it's very hard to see from a distance, but I'm sure that a naked eye will pick it out and be like, oh, you know, that's very cool, and make you want to click on the video. So the next thing you want to do is actually make it glitchy. So I'm gonna hit Control J 3 times on that final product that we have, and we're gonna go to adjustments and go to curves, and then go right here to red. And we're gonna bring the output down to 0 and the input to 251. And then you're gonna go right here to the second layer and go back to adjustments and curves and go to green, and same thing, 0, 251, and then click on blue and do the same exact thing, 0 and 251. Then click OK. Click on the first layer and actually put it onto screen, believe it or not, and then click one time inside of the document, and then click down on your arrow keys, or up or to the right or to the left, and it's actually going to glitch it out for us, which is really cool. It's a really cool effect that everyone should, you know, learn and use in their thumbnails. And then if we hit Control E on everything, you guys will have your own finalized thumbnail, which is really cool because now you can actually change the color to it. So let's say we actually don't want to make it blue. We can go to the hue and saturation tab right here, and, you know, mess with the saturation a little bit. You can make it green, you can make it purple, red, whatever color you'd like. But however, I do like the blue colors. I feel like they're a lot more kind of sensitive to the eye and make it a lot more mellow. However, this is the tutorial, this is it, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It's not hard to do, and if you guys do have any problems, let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to not overdo it because it's a thumbnail and you don't want people clicking on something that's very abstract and you can't notice. However, if you guys do want to purchase the whole entire PSD that I have for sale, including this one right here, basically you guys can actually download this or buy it on Sellfy. And if you guys do want to go purchase it, my Sellfy link will be in the description below. It's right here. It's only $2, or however much you want to pay for with the 20% off. And it really helps support my channel and supports me to upload more content and stuff like that. And of course, the links I use will also be in the description, including the all weapons in slow motion and then the packs that I use. So lastly, if you guys are still watching this, I'm going to show you guys how to save it quickly. So go to File, you guys can use Save As, or you guys can actually go to Export and Save for Web Legacy, and then save it as a PNG. Up here, PNG 8, and just make sure in the bottom left or wherever you guys have the little screen, make sure that it's below actually 2 megabytes, because YouTube won't accept any files above 2 megabytes. That's the most important key. So that's going to cut it all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I had a lot of fun making it. If you guys did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, and you guys can go download everything in the description. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for future content. And like I said, guys, shout my videos out to your friends and stuff like that. Help support me and help me grow my channel so I can make this more into a living. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And it's been Garrett or Bear, and I'll see you guys in my later on videos. Peace out.